Thanks for joining us for Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV. I'm Khari Enaharo. Larry Ealy, Democratic candidate for governor of Ohio, believes it's time for a change in Ohio, beginning with the election of an African-American governor. Now, the historical record shows there have been 63 different governors, all white males. Since the founding of Ohio in 1803, there has never been an African-American governor, attorney general, state auditor, president of the Ohio Senate, speaker of the House, or chief justice of the Supreme Court. Whoo, my goodness. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Jallow, Reverend John Coates, and Democratic candidate for governor of Ohio, Mr. Larry Ealy. Larry, you said it's time for an African-American governor. What difference does it make whether it's an Irish-American, a Polish-American, a Chinese-American, a Portuguese-American? How many more Americans are there? Anyway,
keep on.
What difference does it make?
It's going to make a big difference because black people historically have not been equal to every other race. And I believe the first African-American governor will stabilize not only the African-American race, but the entire race and the entire economy, because there will finally be due process and equal justice for all.
So you're running a racial race. Oh, God. You're running a racial campaign. Is that right?
Some say that.
Are you?
I don't believe I am. I'm only running this race based on what it is. If I'm black, and I was born black. I'm gonna be black, and I'm gonna die black, and I'm gonna handle the black issues that the last 63 white governors failed to do, even though the black Democrats were forced to vote for the white Democrat because they had no choice.
Is Ed Fitzgerald scared of you? The white Democratic nominee, is he scared of your candidacy?
Of course he is.
Why?
Because he can't deal with black people. He has no recollection on black problems, black families, and what we go through. He's a rich white boy from Lakewood, Ohio, who's never been starved. He's never been beat by police. He's never been harassed by police. He's never been thrown in jail. And me being the black governor of Ohio, that's going to end for all black people.
Now, that doesn't mean you're going to discriminate against white people or any other group, does it?
Of course not.
What does it mean, then, to have an African-American governor?
Well, you know, when the white man finally see a black man swing that ink pen, he gonna jump on board because we gonna let loose the floodgates. We gonna bring the
whoa, stop right there. What do you mean, let loose the floodgates?
We gonna unseat the General Assembly, which I believe is 80 white boys that control this state. Mm-hmm. And when they see me coming, they better run, because I'm coming in kicking butt.
Now, Mr. Ealy, you claim to be a constitutional scholar. You understand?
Correct.
Okay. So how will you unseat the General Assembly of the state of Ohio?
Because I understand what the UCCs is, the United States Commercial Codes, and in compliance with the USA, federal courts of appeals, U.S. Supreme Court. I'm gonna bring my skills and knowledge and territories and possessions under the Commonwealths, which the 1772 laws does not include black people. They never thought to this day that they'll be dealing with over 32 million black people freed from slavery. And now the economy has no use for us. And we're gonna change the entire landscape and put black people on the map as whites, blacks, Jews, and any other race that's on this planet.
So you want equal opportunity for all people, you want to actually implement it, not just talk about it and put it on paper. Is that what you're saying?
We're gonna be about it.
That's what I'm saying. You gonna do it. Jallow.
You know, I was reading up on you, and I know that you said that, you know, people are tired of phony politicians. So my question to you is, what type of politician are you?
Oh!
I'm a people's person.
Wait. First of all, give me a definition of a phony politician.
Somebody that's fake.
Like who? Point them out. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But give me a definition of a phony politician.
Fitzgerald. I mean, I didn't even know Fitzgerald. I thought I was going in a head-to-head showdown with John Kasich, based on issues with the police and Dayton.
Why is Fitzgerald phony?
Because he hasn't said nothing that's even related to black problems.
How did you survive? We had 2 black candidates for lieutenant governor get shot down through political pressure, but yet...
Wait a minute, who was the second?
Well, the second was Brenda.
Brenda Sykes?
No, from Youngstown,
Stay
Ohio.
right there, hold on. reparations for black people in Ohio? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. Finally, a black political candidate running in a major political party and a major campaign who is not afraid to talk about the issue of reparations for slavery. 250 years of Jim Crow, segregation, and racial discrimination. But is the state of Ohio and America ready for this kind of political conversation, even after the movie 12 Years as a Slave? Joining me is TalkTamerRadio.com host Irv Jallow, Reverend John Coates, the Democratic candidate for governor, Mr. Larry Ealy. Larry, some people say that at statewide level, Ohio looks like Mississippi in 1954. So you don't have a ghost of a chance of getting reparations. So why are you pushing an issue like this?
Because it's time. I mean...
reparations means what?
It means due process, equal protection, and the money that came from the Kennedy administration in 1962, which we believe was in a realm of $157 million for the black farmers unions and small black business loans. When they assassinated Kennedy, that money was stolen in 1973, according to the records. And I've looked at the Watergate scandal and how many people were murdered in the 60s to cover this up. And now I'm gonna swing the pen under RC 119 and begin reparations for black people.
How are black people in Ohio gonna get reparations under you?
It's gonna come in the way of small business loans. And we're gonna give everybody a stimulus boost, just like the foreigners get. The foreigners get $16,000 a month every quarter, based on nothing of just being there and immunized by the federal district court under the 14th Amendment. And black people been in this country, and our forefathers have been deprived of all due process. And
is reparations reality, John Coates?
I don't think so.
Especially in the state of Ohio.
I don't think so. Reparations is one thing. If the government approves for us to have reparations tomorrow, there's an old saying that says that a fool and his money will soon part. So if you hand money at, say, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a piece to every African American, the white establishment business structure is right waiting there to receive that money, as they always have.
I don't think all of us are going to run out and misspend the money, and I want us to stop saying that about one another.
Well, John believes that.
We'll buy the newest Cadillac,
but
the
not
newest
all of
Chrysler
us.
300.
That's a small percentage of black people who don't know what to do about investing their money.
Television.
Stop making us look like we just don't have no sense whatsoever.
And
like it's all of us. It's not.
You're sounding like a Republican.
I am a Republican, but Mr. Ealy.
Yeah, I mean,
Mr. Ealy.
Why do you believe that?
Yeah, why do you?
Because all research indicates is that African Americans are in need of immediate gratification, and all of the retailers understand.
Not all of us.
Wait a minute. Name the study.
Arbitron.
Name the study.
Arbitron.
Please.
Scarborough.
When? What year? No. I've never heard of it. Arbitron doesn't do that kind of study.
Oh, yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
what
do.
Year? What year did they do it?
Scarborough does it every year. Every year they issue
so they
a
say all black
social
folks
graphic.
just gonna go out and run if we give them anything and spend it off.
Larry, a study group that's not black analyzes black people and then comes out and says if you give them money, they'll waste it away. Is that true?
That's incorrect. Other groups other than black people always use this as an excuse not to do what they're supposed to do. But the governor is his own principal. Can't nobody challenge the governor's authority. I will have diplomatic immunity, and I will break down the barriers finally after
Mr. Ealy,
203
do you believe
years.
that African Americans have a responsibility to ourselves? The research also indicates that our dollars, once we go to work and receive our checks, those dollars do not make one complete revolution through our community. The church may get some, but the rest of it goes
So
out.
that means that we're not supposed to have reparations because of the condition that was...
I didn't
Wait a minute, yes you are.
No, I didn't say that.
You're saying we shouldn't have reparations.
I support reparations.
You do?
I support.
Oh,
yes,
that's a breakthrough.
I support, and I have for the last
How?
25
What
years. But I believe that there needs to be a structure set up so that institutionally and systemically we can benefit from the dollars.
And that's what's going to happen.
Isn't that what you're saying?
Because you're not just talking about a monetary piece. You're talking about judicial processes.
We talking about vocational, education, setting up work camps, study groups.
So he's talking about special legislative initiatives.
First of all, I'm trying to figure out
Hold on for a minute.
Mr. Ealy, your candidacy is under attack. You made the ballot, and it seemed like it made some people angry. So you have the Republican Secretary of State that has you under investigation. Where does that investigation stand currently as it relates to the signatures that got you on the ballot?
Well, the Secretary of State did not have me under investigation. It was the white Democratic Party, Marquis Owens, and the chairman Redfern. I don't even know this white man's name. Like I told these white folks, y'all didn't know me then. You don't know me now.
They recommended the case to the sheriff's department in the county in which you live.
And I told Phil Plummer to bring it on. I'm the one that got Phil Plummer in office. I ran Dave Moore out of town.
So what's the status?
And I'm still
What's the current status?
They ain't saying nothing about it right now. I went to the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office, waiting on them. I went to Channel 7 and Channel 2. Come on with this investigation. I'll subpoena in all 3,000 people who signed that petition.
So you're saying all they did was just announce that there was going to be an investigation, but no actual investigation?
None whatsoever.
You know, and I just wanted to throw in there, because from what I was reading, the 1,300 signatures that you do have, those weren't the ones that were in question anyway.
Correct.
It was some later ones. So it didn't matter. He has the signatures.
Was that the Democratic establishment trying to keep you out, in your opinion?
This is the same Democratic Party that President Abraham Lincoln had to go to war against. And we finna go to war against my own Democratic Party now and unseat these frauds, the racists, and the haters of black people.
You know, I was very disappointed to find out that they had launched, or said that they was launching, a criminal investigation because of suspected signatures.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, and that's alarming, because signatures are always verified. They always go through great scrutiny.
So what do you think the purpose was?
The purpose was to threaten him, to intimidate him,
throw him off the
as
ballot?
well as to intimidate the electorate, to put a dark cast over his
What
head.
kind of cast?
A dark cast.
What kind of cast?
Because they associate dark
What kind of
with
cast?
negativity.
It sounds like you do also dark. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Dark cast. Well, then act like it. You ought to be ashamed talking about dark cast.
Okay.
And so what that means then is that you are the candidate that's upsetting the apple cart. But Todd Portune wanted to run. Jack Ford wanted to run.
But they
fizzled out.
They told them no.
Sit down and shut up. Is that what?
They told them no.
Did they tell them to sit down and shut up?
Did they tell you no,
Did you get
Mr.
permission?
Ealy? Did they tell you no?
Wait a minute, hold on. Are black politicians utterly useless to black communities? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. Nothing marks the failure of black politicians to black communities more than their inability to come up with urban economic development other than going along or even pushing the wholesale displacement of black people in cities like Columbus and other cities in America. Joining me are TalkTainmentRadio.com host Irv Jallow, Reverend John Coates, and Democratic candidate for governor of Ohio, Mr. Larry Ealy. All right, Larry. Many people feel that black politicians have become utterly useless. This is not how it started out. We had black caucuses when they were small, when they were really trying to push a black agenda, but now people just don't even blink an eye. What difference are you going to make as a black politician?
First of all, most black politicians have sold out their own people. I will be the first politician to go into the prison system, into every police force, and re-regulate it. And I see it like this. Once I take over, every correctional facility will have 33 days to turn their files over, because I know for a fact there are still black revolutionaries in prison since the 60s for standing up against white racist police. And if we find out their rights have been violated, they will be pardoned by my executive committee.
I thought you were only going to pardon the prisoners who had a mental disability but were nonviolent. Because I'm thinking if you go around and you just let all of them out and they do have a violent history, then we're going to have some problems.
Well, I ain't saying that. I'm saying we will investigate each and every file. Okay. And if a prison guard has assaulted or abused anybody in jail, he will be tried by a common law court under 18 U.S.C. 242 under the Rodney King Accountability Act. And you got to look at that statute for yourself. Under 42 U.S.C.A. 14141, that gives me applicable power to go into each prison system and regulate it and correct any wrong and put the charge on the warden.
Oh, you know something, we hear that from every politician when they're running. Vote for me, I'll set you free. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, then they'll get in and they get compromised. How do I know you are not gonna be the same stuff we've had for the last 30 years?
The same phony politician?
Yeah, how do I know this?
I was arrested April 1st, 2013 by the Secret Service, U.S. Marshals, Montgomery County Sheriff Department, and City of Dayton.
On what charge?
Obstruction, they claim obstruction of official business.
What meaning what? What happened?
I have a son that's 1 year old now, and they claim that I kidnapped my own son and wouldn't tell the court where my son was. But it goes back deeper than that. I had been in D.C. filing a writ of certiorari to the U.S. Supreme Court about my assault case in 1990. And Ken Gray, who's my lieutenant governor right now, he said, Larry, when you file this, you can expect that they gonna attack you and your family. I was arrested on April 1st, held in jail for 88 days. And during that 88 days, I was able to get over 18 people out of jail. We had class every day. And one white man said, Larry, you ought to run for governor. And he said, when I get out, I'm gonna help you. And I just seen this white man a couple of days ago, and he said, Larry, you said you done what you was gonna do. You held class every day like you said. You filed over 57 motions, 12 writ of habeas corpus.
John, what does all this mean? Does that make him a bona fide black candidate?
I'm trying to sort it out.
What does that make him?
The chairman of the Democratic Party in your county has called you a perennial candidate.
He's a racist.
Well, what does that mean? Is he saying that you just run for office for the sake of it?
Is everybody a racist who's against you? I mean, anytime somebody white or Latino or black, or even black, they are racist on Uncle Tom because they may have a difference with you? Is that what you're saying?
It ain't the difference that they have in me. It's the historical facts about what's going on. And when I put facts on the table, I put them on the table, and I go all the way through with it, and they can't handle the truth.
What offices have you ran for in the past?
I ran for mayor back in 2009.
What's that got to do with anything, John?
Well,
what are you trying to say?
As I was asking before, the chairman of his party stated that he's a perennial candidate. He's stating that you run for office frequently for the sake of it.
But what's that got to do? I mean, why is it necessary that you would repeat that?
I want to know.
Are you opposed to his candidacy?
I want to know.
Are you opposed to his candidacy?
I want to know.
You're not answering my question.
Inquiry minds want to know.
Were your ballots
The ballot is a secret ballot.
Well, were your ballots also questioned in 2009 when you ran for mayor?
Not at all.
Okay.
And so, but what's the point?
Did you make the ballot?
I had enough signatures on that particular ballot, but at the party of five, on the five committee people that you need, one of them did not reside in Dayton.
Okay.
And that was the only reason I didn't make it on the ballot.
And that's part of the shocker associated with it.
Wait, hold on for a minute. I want to know your platform. Lay out 3 specific things that you're going to do if you're elected tomorrow. Tell me right now.
I'm abolishing House Bill 202.
Which is?
Which is to stand your ground.
All right, that's one. Number 2?
I will create jobs for the non-working, the poor, and anybody who's seeking employment.
Number 3.
And I will stop the police in Ohio from making false stops, false arrests, and use of excessive force. And it's going to be made known to each and every police officer on their computer screen. And if they can't read what's on the screen, that means they can't be a police, because we can't have police that can't read. Simply put.
Jallow, can he win on that platform?
You know, it's going to be difficult because of who you're running against. But, you know, anything is possible. I know that you said
Will he get the black vote based on that platform?
I think he may. His thing is going from door to door because people tend to do business with people that they know. And so if he goes door to door to introduce himself and he has some charisma, I think that he can win the people over.
Is this a platform the black community will get behind?
I think they will because of the employment.
No, the black community will not get behind it because we're still operating from the mentality is that they'll respond to the same Democratic sample ballot that will be handed to them before they walk into the polling place instead of being educated.
What will other black Democrats do? Will they endorse him or will they endorse Ed Fitzgerald?
They'll follow the script. They'll follow the script that their party chairman has delivered for them. No, he won't get any support. But my question is that the things that you mentioned on your platform are wonderful things, okay? But our state faces other problems as well, such as economic development. We need business. We need manufacturing to come within the state. What will you do as the chief administrator of the state to attract that type of business and secure it?
I will pass law that every contract done in the state of Ohio.
Stay right there. Hold on. I'm going to give you a chance to answer that. Wouldn't an African-American governor be business as usual? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. What difference would an African-American governor, Speaker of House, or President of the Ohio Senate make in the state of Ohio? Would it be business as usual or a major change? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Jallow, Reverend John Coates, and Democratic candidate for governor of Ohio, Mr. Larry Ealy. Larry, all right, you're an African-American governor. So what? I mean, you know, we got an African-American president, and the problems with black people have multiplied. We got an African-American senator over here from New Jersey, and the problems are still bad. We've had African-American mayors, and under those conditions, black communities get worse. We even had an African-American mayor in Jackson, Mississippi, Brother Lumumba, who died mysteriously. Okay, there's a lot of questions surrounding this. So what difference is it, what difference are you gonna make being there? So what? You sitting there, so what? What difference is that gonna make?
Well, the first thing gonna have to happen first, to get this moving, I will have to write Article 1, Section 9 of the Ohio Constitution to include black people as U.S. citizens.
You're gonna have to get it passed.
Well,
you just can't do that by yourself. You don't have that authority. It has to be passed by the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House of Representatives. Who says they're gonna go along? Then it has to be ratified by the Supreme Court.
Conservative.
Both conservative.
Well, I don't think these white folks gonna get in my way, because I'm coming straight at the problem. If they in my way of freeing black people from oppression, then we gonna have a big falling out every day, and they better not get in my way.
What do you mean better not get in your way?
That's
I mean,
right.
That sounds violent. That's not what you're talking about, is it?
They can take
That's not what you're talking about, is it?
They can take it how they want to take it. Our forefathers have been deprived far too long. 203 years in this state and 245 years in the United States, and those days have come to pass.
Can he win talking like that?
No, he can't.
Why not?
Well, you know, first of all, he needs. If it was a smaller state, maybe we might have a black Jesse Ventura on our hands. Okay, but in Ohio, it's just not going to happen. In fact, my prayer for you is that you survive the election process, because they're not going to tolerate that type of language.
Is that true, Irv? Are they going to tolerate it?
You know, I was going to ask you, did you think that it would be wise to just tone it down and just, you know, hit this thing at a different angle? I mean, be aggressive, of course, be aggressive and state your claim, but you know, tone it down and be a little bit more, you know, politically correct.
Well, you know, that's the whole problem. Black people have been toned down too long, and now they watered down. Now we ain't got nothing. Black people is dying, we starving, we poor, we homeless, and y'all ain't doing nothing about this. Well, something finna happen now. Whether I win this election or not, I'm gonna get them a run for their money, and I plan to knock out Fitzgerald and break Kasich apart.
Oh my God!
That's a lot of strong talk. My question is, what will you do to bring jobs to Ohio?
First of all, the continental rail system that Kasich took away will be implemented immediately. Every landfill surrounding residential areas will be broken up and removed. That's 2,000 jobs right there, just in Montgomery County alone. And we're gonna sweep out and clean out the deprivation inside the inner cities. You're gonna see the first governor go door to door and ask the people what they need. Black, white, blue, green, I don't care who they are. Everybody gonna be on the same page.
What will you do?
No one will be left out.
What will you do to attract business to Ohio to secure jobs? Light rail, okay, what else?
I will give each corporation incentives to hire, first of all, minorities, children from 13 to 19 all year round. We got to employ these black kids to keep the guns and crack and drugs out of their hands. I feel if the Iranian and the foreign children receiving the stimulus of $16,000 every 90 days, we got a problem with that.
You know what he's talking about? He's talking about emergency measures.
Right.
And he's dealing with this as a crisis. And you're saying other black politicians don't deal with it that way. They look at it as business as usual.
They've been paid off. They've been paid off.
He may not be given the language we like to hear, but what he's saying is it's a crisis.
That's what we should see happen in our major cities, such as Detroit and other areas, but we don't, and that's a problem.
And Dayton is headed to another Detroit. Any black politician who is fake, they better not come my way. They can keep their money, they can keep their promises, and keep their lies. This is a one-man gang, and the people behind me, I got 465 years of slavery and oppression.
Stay right there.
Riding on this.
Thanks to TalkTainmentRadio.com host Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and a special guest, Democratic candidate for governor of Ohio, Larry Ealy. And thank you for watching Khari, Free at Last.